Hi everyone, in this video we're going to go through just a few calculator instructions, mostly solve on your calculator. So if you have to solve an equation or anything, either an equation, a linear equation, or simultaneous equations, you can do that all on your calculator. Also just reminding you where to or how to do surds on your calculator, and also indices. So there aren't too many questions on here. Okay, so although your calculator is quite powerful, a lot of things you have to still do by hand. So other than what we've covered this year, we haven't really looked at solving equations. So that's what we're going to do mostly in this video. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to look at some indices and surds questions, and then just some linear relations questions. All right, so the first one we've got is this one here, 3x equals 27. So if you were doing this one by hand, you do have, oops, and I'm started off on the wrong foot. Don't want the x there. X has to be up the top. All right, you have to have the same base. So we've got to write 27 with the base of 3. So 27 is the same as 3 cubed. Now, if you're ever unsure, just do prime factorization. So split your 27 into factors. So a factor pair of 27 is 3 and 9. And then you keep going until you get your prime numbers. So this you would have done in year 7, right? Every time I've taught year 7, I've done this. So we've got 3 times 3 times 3 gives you 27, which is 3 cubed. Now that you have the same bases, your powers are equal to each other. All right, but on your calculator, you can just go to solve, and we can go 3 to the power. So your power is just the hat button next to the divide. 3 to the power of x is equal to 27. And we go comma x because we're solving for x. So there you go, x equals 3. Now, obviously, that's an easy one. So let's do a harder one. So I'm just going to write this out so we've got a bit of space. All right, so we've got 11 to the power of x minus 5 equals 1 over 121. So again, we need to have the same base. Now, I know 11 squared is 121. All right, if you didn't know that, you can obviously do prime factorization, but you should know that 11 squared is 121. So we've got 11 to the power of x minus 5 equals 1 over 11 squared. So now I've got the same bases. And it looks a little bit weird because the base on the right-hand side is part of a fraction. So just to make it so it's not a fraction, that 2 on the bottom comes up the top as -2. So now we have the same bases. So that means x minus 5 is equal to -2, and that means x is equal to 3. Now on your calculator, you can just go solve 11 to the power, so the button, little hat button next to the divide. Just make sure you put your power in brackets, right? Otherwise, it'll only read the x as the power equals, and then we can just write the fraction. So 1 over 121. You don't actually even have to simplify anything. It'll just do it for you. All right, and just rounding off for the next one, we've got solve 9 to the power. Just make sure that you put your power in brackets because we've got multiple terms there. Equals 27 to the power of x plus 2, making sure that's in brackets also. So we'll just double check what it looks like. Looks good to me, comma x. All right, so x is equal to 0. And if you want, you can always check. So if I put 0 in there, I've got 9. Sorry, I was just pressing another button. 9 cubed equals 27 squared. Now, I don't think that looks, let's just have a look. 9 cubed is 729, and then 27 to the power of 2 is also 729. So you can see there that it is correct. So you can always check. All right, moving along. So I put this one in because a lot of people forgot to put brackets when they did questions like this on their test. Okay, so the brackets are here, but just in case you weren't given brackets, you got to remember to use brackets. Brackets are like hugs. All right. Hopefully you love hugs, so you'd love brackets. All right. A small rectangular jewelry box has a base with dimensions 3 root 15 by 12 plus root 3 and a height of 2 root 5 plus 4. Bit of a mouthful. Now, if you like drawing like I do, let's just do a quick sketch. There's your jewelry box. It's not art class, so we don't need to, make it any fancier. Doesn't matter because it's rectangular. Doesn't really matter what you call each side. Actually, there's our base, and we've got the height over here. What is it? 2 root 5 plus 4. All right. Determine the exact area of the base. All right, so we have to make sure those two are on the base. Now, on your calculator, 3 root 15, and then we're multiplying that because the area of a rectangle is length times width. 3 times 12 plus root 3. Alrighty, sorry, I've just had a visitor, and while I was waiting to start again, I did notice on my my calculator screen, just see how that bracket is with the 3. So I'm just going to delete that for a sec. Let me just go on here. All right, just make sure, see how the cursor is small, and then when I go to the right, it's bigger. So smaller, big, small, big. So you do have to be conscious of that. Something like this probably, actually it probably would matter. So just make sure your bracket is outside of the square root. All right, what are we doing? The exact area, good. So you can press enter. Now, it hasn't actually done anything for us. That's a bit annoying. So what we can do, this isn't a hard one to do by hand, but if you've got time and you want to check your answers, or even if, oh gosh, I'm all over the place. Transformation, actually, we'll do it, action. They're all in action and interactive, the same menu. One just does it straight on the screen. The other one, you have to put it in. So since I've already got it written there, I'm just going to put expand there and just make sure we've got our brackets around. All right, and you can see it's expanded it for you. So if you went ahead and did what I did initially and it hasn't expanded it for you, you can just use expand. So I'll go there again. So transformation, expand, and it'll expand that bracket for you. All right, so we've got 36 root 15. Where are we? Oh gosh. See, someone comes over and just stuffs everything up. 36 root 15 plus 9 root 5. All right, so I've expanded it and the calculator would automatically simplify it. All right, so if this was an extended response question, you would have to show a little bit more working than just doing it on your calculator, but you can check your answer on your calculator. If it was a multiple choice question, you can just do it straight on your calculator. All right, what is the exact volume of the box? So this is length times width times height. So what you can do is just highlight what you've got here, drag it down, and then I'm going to just sneak in there between those two brackets, and then we're going to multiply by the other dimension, which was 2, we've got to put it in brackets, 2 root 5, just move your cursor, plus 4. All right, just make sure it looks good. And we've got that there. So 100, oh gosh, it's very long, isn't it? 144 root 15 plus 36 root 5 plus 360 root 3 plus 90. So remember with surds, you can't add surds unless they're like surds. So you can see on my calculator, it's separated everything. That's because those surds aren't like surds. All right, think of them in algebra. You might have 144x plus 36y. You can't add them together because they're not like terms. So think about like surds being pretty similar to algebra. All right, Julie's earring boxes occupy an area of 9 root 5. What is the exact number that would fit across the base of the jewelry box? Give your answer with a rational denominator. All right, so across the bottom, so we've got 9 root, what's an area of 9? Okay, so we're going to take the area that we had before, so I can just highlight that and drag it down. So you can do that with your stylus. You can also highlight something and just next to your arrow down the bottom, I'll just keep pressing it. Can you see it there? That's to copy and this one's to paste next to it. All right, so you can also copy and paste. Now I've probably hurt my calculator. I think I just pressed the button a few too many times and it's got upset. All right, there we go. You okay, calculator? Gosh, let's see how we're going. There we go. All right, so we're going to, that's our area. Let's divide that now. All right, so divide by 9√5. All right, and then just press enter. Oh. Now, remember what I did. I forgot to expand, so let's just go back to expand. All right, and I don't even think I need to put a bracket on the end. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? 20√3 plus 5. Now it says a rational denominator. I wonder. Anyway, oops, oh gosh, sorry. 20√3 plus 5. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm just thinking whether a box would, whether we've actually got to think of the dimensions of the box, because we're given the area of the box, but not the dimensions. So the working is fine, but you kind of think, well, you got to consider the length and the width, but I'm overthinking it and we just need to focus on how to use surds anyway. All right, let's move on to linear relations. So we're going to do a bit of solving. So you would do the same if you had an equation. Here we've got an inequation, so I've chosen that one to show you where the inequality sign is. And then we've got simultaneous equations. So first of all, whenever you're solving, you just go to solve. So solve is found by Math 1, Math 2, Math 3. All right, you can see it's in Math 3 as well as Math 1. All right, so we're solving, so 4x minus 3. Now your inequality signs are in Math 3, so you can see we've got less than, greater than or equal to, sorry, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So we want greater than, and 17. Now I know you can't see my arrow, so I'm looking at, see this button here. It's a bit hard to show. All right, comma x. Now if you have, so x is greater than 5. If you had to multiply or divide by a negative number, remember your inequality sign changes direction. So let's say we had the same thing, but I might make that a negative 4x. All right, so you can see it's changed the inequality sign for you. So again, if you're having, if something we might, you know, on your exam, you're like, oh, I can't remember that, and it's in your notes, but you can just do it on your calculator. All right, so the other two, obviously you would do that by hand if you had to, if it was on the, not a multiple choice question, but checking it on your calculator. All right, and if it was an equation, so let me go back and highlight that. So if it was an equation, so instead of that inequality sign, we had an equal sign, you can solve it as well. All right, so it doesn't matter if it's an inequality sign or an equal sign. Okay, now if you're solving simultaneous equations, now this was done really, really well on your test, but again, you know, it's always nice to have something to check. So this button above tan, see this one here? All right, that's what you would use for simultaneous equations. Now, if you had more than 2, you just keep pressing the button and it adds it for you. But at Year 10, we only want 2. VCE, you'll probably have more. All right, so just type your equations in. Now, these are probably easier or quicker to do by hand, but let's say if you had something more complicated. Y equals 2x plus 5. All right, just make sure you've typed them in correctly. All right, and then in the little box here, we're solving for x and y. So we go x comma y. We've got x equals negative 3, x equals negative 1. All right, so you can check your answer that way. I'm just going to quickly show you, and I haven't got anything on this sheet, just graphing. So you can go to menu, go to graph. All right, that's for my methods class, so don't worry about that, and don't let that scare you. So let's just do 2x minus 4. All right, so You've already got the y there and the equals. You're just putting the expression on, so 2x minus 4, tick it, and we can graph it there. Now, you can find points on that line if you want to. So you can go to trace and just say, all right, I want to know what y is equal when x is equal to 5. So you just press the number and it comes up. All right, so there you can see 5, 6. I also noticed the other day, I wonder if I can find it. No. Thought I found something else that was quite interesting. All right. Don't really need it. Anyway, so just showing you graphically there how to do a graph on your calculator. If there's anything else you think you want to know, please let me know. Just with trigonometry, just make sure you're in degree mode. Okay, so DEG, especially if you're borrowing your calculator, and you should be alternating between standard and decimal. All right, girls, bye.